All right, it might be slightly late at night, but I'm not sleeping, so I might as well do something productive, right? This package of Opal I just got. It is an awesome parcel, but I've been looking at it and it's not quite as straightforward as it might look. So I decided I wasn't going to cut all these all at once, uh, since I think I won't have other packages show up till probably early next week. I could get one tomorrow, but it probably won't be here till Monday. For some reason, they sit in customs for 4 or 5 days in Los Angeles before they even ship them out. But anyway, uh, looking at these things quickly earlier, I thought I had two that would be a little bit complicated, and the rest of them are pretty straightforward. I cut one of those two and got this. Pretty pleased with that. The other one that I thought would be difficult would be this one right here. So I want to talk just a little bit about planning these cuts, because even no matter what grade of opal you are cutting and working with, you want it to turn out as nice as possible, to get as big as piece as possible, to have it face the best way possible. And that takes some planning and kind of looking ahead at what obstacles you might run into. So let's go over this parcel one by one and discuss the possible pitfalls, the pros, the cons of each piece, and what we might expect to be able to get out of each one of these pieces. Let's start with the giant one. 73 dadgum carats. Look at this. So this monster one, this one is not the same quality, it's not the same grade as these other ones, but you see the color bar right there. That's a good look at it. And you see it rolls around there. But what I'm thinking is, let me get a pencil. So what I'm thinking is, we've got color there for sure. And it rolls around to there for sure. You see red and orange and blue. But I think that this is where it ends, and I drew a line here. I think that, it could dip in like this and just be on the edge, and that would be worst case scenario. It very well could do that. It could kind of swing out here and just be missing color in this corner and not have it here, because there's none on this edge and none on this edge right here. So we're hoping that it's something like this, but it really could be something like this. If that's the case, what we're left with is probably cutting some smaller gems out of it, getting some earring or ring pieces out of there, and our 73 carats is probably going to net, if we're lucky, it might net 10, I think. Well, if we're really lucky, it might be 20, 25. But I think realistically, if we got a 10 carat piece right here that turned out good, that would be well worth it. If we get more than that, then that's bonus. But it's entirely likely that we'll have a color bar that only does this right here, and we just get some little stones along the edge. So that's one. That's one that has its own problems. And we might cut this one tomorrow. That'll be a good video. But now for these ones. Let's start with the obvious one, the one that I already said is going to be difficult. When you get chips like this, you look at this stone faced this way, and you think, oh, that's going to cut, a 10 carat stone. That's big. That's a good size chunk. But when you get these chips like this that take out most of the color bar, and there's just a little bit of the color bar left there, you don't really have a bottom. You can't, if you faced it from the top, you don't have a bottom for that section. If you take it to this side and took this top down to where it was even with down there, we don't have enough color bar to do that. So I think what we'll do on this one, the plan on this one will be to probably cut this one right there at the fracture line. Let me mark it with a pencil. probably we would cut it right in here on that line, knowing that that probably gives us a good 3 or 4 carat piece here, and then there's probably a 1 carat piece right here, and if this color bar goes deep enough, there might be another one there, but I'm thinking we probably get almost a guarantee here of 3, maybe 3, and then 1 right here, and then maybe nothing there. So 4 carats total out of this one. That is starting out around 8, I think. 8.9, so right at 9. So if we ended up with 4 carats out of that, that's not bad. So that's that one's challenges. Those are pretty straightforward. That one makes sense. Okay, we look at this one next, and this one looks to be, if we get it over here in the good light, it looks to be just pretty much all wall-to-wall color at first. From this side it certainly is, right? So it shouldn't matter where you cut that until you start looking on this side and you start looking on the face, and the color bar is actually a little bit trickier than it seems. I think you could mess this one up. I think that we'll probably face this one like it is here, because that's kind of the way it wants to face. Meaning this will be my top and this will be my bottom. We have to take enough of that bottom off. We have to take enough of this bottom right here off to get a flat surface. And once again, because of the fracture here, we probably will have to lose, you know, 1.5 carats at least right there, just because of the difference in thickness and not having enough color bar to just take it off. But still, that one should be pretty straightforward to get. Our starting weight on this one is going to be, I'm going to guess 8, 10. We got 10 there. But it's thick, and by the time we get that high point right there off, I think a 6 carat stone out of this one would be a good deal. Okay, the next one, let's do this one. This one seems pretty straightforward, and I think that is the case. I think that we've got just about top to bottom color. I think we got beautiful bright color. I think that if I mess this one up, I should probably hang up my grinder or stick my face in it. I think we should get 4 carats, 6 point. These are big. These are chunkier than I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if we could get a 4 carat piece out of this, that that'll be good. 5 carats would be, you know, if we did a thick high dome and just take the skin off top and bottom, you might get 5 carats out of this one, and that'll be the goal. 5 carats. Okay. Now, what I thought was one of the easier ones, because look at the color bar on this one. Let me see if I can get it to where you can see it. There you go. Yeah, you can see it. You can't hardly miss it. That color bar, it's there through that skin right there. It's right there around this side right here. I mean, that color bar is 3 mils thick, probably 2.5, 3 mils at least, which is just a blessing when you're trying to cut opal, to have that bright and big of color bars. Here's the difficulty with this one. The color bar is closer to the top here, but it's dished. It's sitting like this, that color bar. If the color bar follows the contour of the piece, which it likely does, what we have is, instead of having a nice high dome, we have a pit. We have a hole that it sits in. And the color bar, although thick, is not thick enough to, you know, overcome that low spot in the middle, most likely. So do you think, well, okay, this is the natural way it wants to face with this curve. That's the way I like to, if it has a natural curve and you can start out that way, your color bar typically probably follows that contour, and you're already going to get a medium dome just because of the way the color bar runs. The problem is that's where most of our potch is. That's where most of our weight and our back is. If we took all of this off, if we took all of this top off down to the color bar to face it that way, and then we face the bottom down to where that is flat enough to have it be the bottom of our stone, then all of a sudden we have, you know, for a piece this big, we're too thin. We're too thin for my taste. So that's the difficulty of this one, is if we face it this way, we're super thin. If we face it this way, we don't have much of a dome. And it's, look at the difference in, that might answer it for us right there, but maybe not. Man, those colors are just kicking. Although they don't seem to face from the top or bottom near as much, so that might be a problem. Okay, they're facing them that way. Anyway, I'm inclined to say that we might have to cut this one in half right there. If we cut it in half, we'd have two high domed, nice pieces. This one is in the, that one's got to be at least 12 as it sits. Ooh, 17, 17, 17. So with 17 to start with, dang, it's a shame that we couldn't, you know, try to cut 12 or 15 out of that one, but I just don't think that's possible. And so this one we might have to look at cutting right down that low spot there so that we can face one like that and one like that, and get two nice ones that are both, you know, medium domed. Or we end up with one big one with a fairly good dome, but very thin. We lose a lot of the weight, a lot of the value. So that one is actually, it looked like one of the most straightforward ones. This one to me is the hardest decision. So what do you guys think? What do we do on this one? Face it from this way and have it be thin? Face it from this way and have it be flat or dished? Or cut it in two? That's the decision on that one. Tell me what you think. We got one left. This one I think is probably the Kingstone. This one isn't as big. Let's see if I can guess this one right. 9.5. 11.8. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me show you the colors on this one. It's just got killer color in it. Look at that. Look at those colors. Let me get a little bit of zoom there. Again, a nice thick color bar. All the colors there you see. I see pink, I see green, I see blue, I see orange. Can you guys see all those? This one, I think we just take that skin off. I think we leave it, we take this dome off the bottom to get it flat. I think this one right here, you know, this right here is probably going to have to go away. That little jagged piece sticking out. At least some of it probably will have to go away. But I think that we end up with, realistically on that one, 8 is probably doable with that one if we left it kind of thick and chunky, which, you know, 7 or 8 is very doable on this one. And that is going to be a big, beautiful stone. Do we save this one for last, or do we get impatient and jump into it? I'm inclined to save it for last. What do you guys think? That's the way I kind of plan my cuts and think about it when I can't be out cutting. I'm usually thinking about how I can cut something. I think we might cut this one tomorrow, just because we can. I don't know. This one's not going to be the same quality as these ones. It's not going to be as bright, but it still might cut a really nice stone. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, please. And subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. And really appreciate all of you that were watching. Thank you.